Let's go survival.
So,
Difficulty. Normal,
YouTube
maybe?
is catching everything. It looks like it is. Yep, cool. We're both in like menus, but hey. Okay.
Yeah, why not? Friendly fire on, obviously.
I'm just waiting for the black and one to set up everything.
About to send you an invite here, too. Here, multiplayer game, yes. Friends of friends, sure. Visible alien player, sure, why not? Let's create it. Go!
Wow, there's a lot of skins in this game.
Yeah, there's actually an incredible amount.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because
Generating.
I think in the PC version you can actually just create skins.
Yeah. As long as you're, I guess, precise with like a fine pen tip,
Oh wait,
you can kinda...
don't take me to your broadcast, please.
Oh no! Alright, I'm in the game.
Okay, let's see if I
Let me
can.
see if I can... Bad things are happening to good people.
I want to play.
I'm working on it.
Whoopsie.
There we go. Oh no. There you go. You should have an invite now.
Everyone's about to see my Twitch. Hello, 45 Gunner.
I'm creating a map.
Give it a second.
And exploring the world.
My screen is as black as you guys see it. Oh, now it's white.
Buttons are not my friend.
And it looks like my Twitch is paused. Come on.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no. There we go.
There we go.
How do I put you down? How do I put you down?
There we go.
Holding a map
Okay, now Minecraft
Just
is
drop
loading.
it.
Welcome back, 45 Gunner. How are you doing? Okay, now it's syncing up some user data. I think I paused my Twitch.
Wanting to see where it drops. Is that you? That's a goat.
Hello, is anyone out there?
You did get the invite, right? There it is. Looking to join the game.
Yep, I'm just trying to figure out why my Twitch isn't catching up at all. Oh, I know why. Somehow my Twitch closed itself.
Just... Oh, it closed itself?
Mm-hmm. There we go.
And you left the game.
Oh, great. Okay, now it should be capturing it. I'm in the game. I'm in the game.
It says you left the game.
Oh, no, now it says I disconnected. Oh, oh, now it says I'm loading in something again. My game's all confused. Good, we see and hear it now. Awesome, okay. Now if I go to invite and join, let's see how bad this breaks again. I think it's because as soon as you started broadcasting the black and one, as soon as you did that, I hit the start button because I thought you were inviting me. And I think Twitch was like, you can't stream another person's stream. Oh, look, I see you. Hello.
My goodness, that looks terrifying. You look terrifying.
Oh, I am a skin and bones.
Fine. We are lumberjacks.
Yes, we are. We. Aw.
The good thing also, like Ark, you should have like, limited range.
That's the only reason you wanted me to play, isn't it? Just unlimited range. So have you ever
I'd rather be playing Ark.
played Minecraft?
No.
Okay. Can you explain the one button I can't see right under crafting?
I can't see it either. That's where my stream decided it was going to put its bar.
So that.
That says inventory. Y for inventory. That's what it is.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so how do I... Oh, this is my map. Ah, I see you on the map.
I see you on the map.
Awesome. Cool. There's a block. These are seeds. I got a stick and I got a lilac. Whoa.
Ah.
Whoa. It's so weird not doing this on a PC. So I've played Minecraft before, so I kind of know how to play. I'm not going to say I'm an expert for many reasons.
I know the gist.
I'll give you 2 tips. Don't dig straight up and don't dig straight down. Both of those are bad options.
All I hear is jealousy.
Or I beg to be proven different. Okay.
I thought we wanted to go to the center of the world.
Where are you?
Use your map.
You're behind. You're
Am
right
I?
there. Oh my gosh,
I got plenty of wood.
I see little me on the screen somehow. Whee! Whenever you run, you can see a little me, little of yourself up in the upper right corner or whatever. It's so weird, I'm just not used to it. I'm gonna chop trees with my map.
You chop them trees.
The only true way of chopping any trees. Ah, Minecraft, good times. I still remember the SD card with Minecraft that you made for me. LOL. I will not
I got sweet.
approve or deny a Minecraft that I made.
Tisk tisk.
Okay, where are you? We need to figure out.
Next to you.
Are you next to me? No, you're not. You're not a sheep. There you
I'm
are.
directly in front of you. You weirdo.
Ah, your internet's becoming all glitchy.
I don't know, it's fine. I see you just fine.
Or you were sounding like a glitch, scary clown thing. Okay, so we need to find a place we want to set base up.
That's your call, bud.
Plus, you're
How
not
you doing?
chopping
I got
all
a
the
thing I gotta
trees.
do here.
Chop all the trees. You're not chopping
sorry.
all the trees. How are we gonna
I'm sorry, on
cause...
all the trees.
Yes, how are we gonna cause deforestation if you don't chop all the trees?
Fine, we don't need air. Air's for weak.
I mean, I might have lungs, but I don't really have skins.
Turn to SpongeBob. Air's for the weak.
Okay, well, I'm gonna scout out a reasonable place to lay our
Air's
home
for
at.
critters.
So this is actually kind of cool. We're on like our own little private island. It's like Wind Waker almost style.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that when I glanced off. I was like, yes. We have plenty of places we can go.
And there's a mine.
The world.
Woo!
Was
There's
that
a mine
us?
here.
There's a mine, huh?
Yeah.
We need ore.
Oh yeah, we need a lot of things. LOL.
Oh, you're down here. Okay, here I come. Here I come.
Be careful. There's like a hole of death and destruction. So
So
if
we're
we
gonna mine
want,
something
we
to
could
mine?
actually create this into a house. If you want to build the house into the mountain.
King under the mountain.
Do you want to?
Yeah, we actually could. There's a nice cut through too over here.
I'm coming. Yeah, nice little one. Ooh. Some coal here. We'll need that for making lanterns and stuff.
Is it ore?
Coal.
Coal, gotcha.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We need to make a pickaxe, but I need to get a... I think he took my
I
coal.
just need wood for... I didn't
Yeah.
take no dang coal. I don't have any.
I just want you
Yeah,
to...
sand. You want sand?
Nah.
Oh, plenty of sand. Yeah.
I want you...
Sand? Here's some sand.
Okay. How do I craft? That's how I craft. Okay. I need... No.
Yes.
That's... Okay. That's how that works. Okay. I'm putting the crafting table right here. There we go.
How do you make a...
Come to the crafting table. Come to the crafting table. Come up near me. Follow my
Oh, there it
voice.
is. Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, use. Okay.
Yep, there we go. And as you do that, I'm going to try to rapidly build a base of some sort. Place. Nope. There we go.
Wood planks.
Okay.
I got some wood planks.
Nice.
To get a wooden axe, we need... What are those? Sticks. Oh god, they're gone forever.
Okay. Whoop.
Why? So bad.
So we're just gonna duck and cover for the night.
How do you tell what you need for it? There we go. Maybe? Nope.
Okay, so this is gonna be the tough part. We'll just whoop.
How do you tell what you need for it? I need 3 pieces of wood, but just like, what are those sticks?
I'm not 100% sure what you're looking at. Can you give me
There
more
it is.
details?
I found it. Found it. Yeah, the sticks that we need.
Right now I'm building just a place so that not all monsters will come in and kill us on the first night.
Good point. Do you want... Okay, I have us axes and pickaxes. I'll make us some axes and pickaxes.
I don't know. If I'm hitting it, yes I am. Okay.
Oh god, bad things are happening. Here's an axe. You want an axe? Here's an axe.
No, I'm good.
There's an axe. No, there's an axe. I made you an axe. Pick up the dang axe!
I got the axe, okay. So as long as we stay
I'm
here, roughly they could jump from the cliff, so I would say let's stay not at the cliff edge.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds like a plan, Jimmy.
Okay, can I make a sword?
Can make you a sword. I'm gonna be our craftsman.
I need blocks of wood. I can make blocks of
Here,
wood.
I got your sword. Here's your sword. Take your sword, Skippy.
Apparently that wasn't the right blocks of wood.
Here is your brain fart. Here, there's your axe.
Oh, there we go. I don't need a pickaxe. I need a sword, just in case something comes down and kills us for the
Here,
night.
I have a sword. Here.
I got a
Here's
sword.
a sword.
I got a sword.
Okay, yeah. Nice, I got a sword too.
Ow!
Stop!
You made me lose health. You made me lose health.
How does healing work? It just naturally comes back over time, right?
As long as you have food. As you can see, there's 2 like little bars.
Okay,
Hi,
gotcha.
Kyroplay Z. Okay, so not the best. I would recommend not standing out in the light to stay in the cliff, be protected.
Well, why not out in the fight?
Because
Turn into a werewolf or something?
no, something could fall and kill you immediately. Okay. Where's the moon? Okay, we're halfway through the night, roughly. Well, actually, since you got me an axe, or a pickaxe, we can start carving out our own way and getting some stone.
Yes, we can.
Again,
we will go.
don't go straight down. Please.
I'm going straight down, bud.
Ow! 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 Die! Die!
You got something?
I'm about to die.
I'm gonna help.
I cured it. I was about to die there, guys.
There's a random spider, huh?
Well, a spider jumped from one of the high ledges. Hint why I said stay out from underneath that opening gap.
We're always so paranoid, gosh.
Did you literally just open a path for monsters to come through? Yes, you did.
No. No, I didn't. I'm digging a hole under the mine.
Okay.
Over here. Like, I'm digging a little, like,
Yes,
little hideaway.
but guess what? You're not the only one who can get out from under this little area you made.
I didn't make this over here.
Yep.
I didn't do this.
Yes, you did.
No,
I'm almost certain there was stones blocking your path.
Um,
So you're gonna tell
technically,
me?
no.
Yes, there were. There was like
that,
3
it was,
stones
yeah, there's
here.
like 3 here. But you could still walk past it and go around it, though.
No, you couldn't.
Yes, you
The
could.
stones blocked your way.
I'm sorry, can I put stones back up?
No. You've ruined it all.
We could just build a fence. Let me just build us a fence here.
I thought I had.
Someone's negative over here. I could put a door.
That's what I'm trying to build. If you can put it, that's awesome.
I made a.
I made
I hear something.
3 doors. That's not really what I needed. But hey.
I hear some gargling.
Yeah, most likely it's monsters. Don't worry. I'm sure they won't attack you.
There, I made a fence.
I don't.
There, I made a fence.
You don't need a fence.
I made a fence.
There we go.
See, ta-da! And I was inside of your head for about 2 seconds there. It's kind of creepy.
Okay.
Oh, got it. Another second.
Are you chopping down?
Nothing. I'm chopping down nothing. I was being paranoid. There we go. Haha.
I made a little doorway. Give me a second. There we go. Now you have a way to enter and exit.
I could just, or I could just annoy the crap out of you. Really? You're gonna just put a fence right here, huh?
I didn't put a fence
put a
right
fence.
there.
Yeah, you did.
I don't even have a fence.
Good point. Good point.
You're the one
funny.
building fences.
I don't know how I put it there. I don't know. I'm going into the woods.
Okay, you do that.
Mining we will
I'll
go.
finish.
Mining we will go.
I'll finish the building the house that we need.
I'm getting a stone.
There's tons of stone here.
I'm getting a stone. I'm building a hallway.
You're gonna die. I hope you know that. Okay. Oh, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Nice. Okay. Okay. We'll just do this design here. And that will cover most of our base.
Okay, Scotopia.
Okay. So there's
Oh no, I
that.
broke it in my I broke it in my thing here.
There's
Another
that.
one here. Let's just screw in there. Where'd you go?
There's that. And then I have to,
I can make stone stuff now.
I guess we'll just have
Oh yeah. Now I'm playing with fire.
No, you're playing with stone.
And now I'm playing with vegetable oil.
Okay, plus it's daytime, so we can go out and explore again. I'm just gonna try a...
Okay. Yeah, good point. I guess we could do that. That would make the most sense.
I'm just gonna.
Well, it's daytime.
You're not able
And we
to
can't
jump
jump on the
on the
fence.
fence.
Well, we just have to go out the door and go around then.
Yep, but I'm also trying to build a ceiling so enemies don't just kill us whenever they so want. So you have fun exploring, my little boy, out in the big bad world.
Yeah, bad things are about to happen to good people. So what do we do now? Anywhere you want to go?
Right now we can craft and build and everything that we want. Eventually we might want to get a boat soon.
How do we build a boat? Well then!
We need wood. I believe
What's it
you.
wood?
I believe you just get a certain amount of wood and you'll have it. Let me see.
It'd be buildable.
Yeah. What do I need for another pickaxe? I need some sticks. How do I make sticks? I'm guessing I need
I can peel bark.
wood. How do I make stick?
I got bark.
There we go. There we go. And pickaxe. And there we go.
I wonder what bark's used for.
I don't know. That wasn't an item back when I played. Okay. Okay. And continue clearing out this nice little area.
So all the trees have to go, huh? Do they grow back over time, or is this a thing where once they're gone forever?
Well, you should get saplings and you can plant the saplings.
Yeah, good point, good point. Someone's getting achievements.
Yeah. Because I'm actually playing the game right. There we go.
Ow.
Are you getting hurt? Do I need to come up there and save you?
No, I jumped down off of the hill.
No.
Boys will be boys.
Okay.
Oh, rocketed my axe. He'll give me another one.
There we go. Looks homely already. Okay, I need to cover up that area. Which I'm going to need to build more stairwell up here. Now, can I reach that far? It looks like I can. Yep, awesome.
I got a bunch of stuff. I got 2 saplings.
Nice, so you can plant 2 trees. Okay.
Oh, Billy.
Make a torch. Nope. How do I need to grab the... Did I literally just make a level? I wanted a torch. I need coal. Where's some coal? There was some over here, I believe. Unless you mine. Nope, you didn't mine at all. Awesome. So I need to get some coal. We also need to get some food. So we need to find some pigs, some cow.
What are sheep?
I don't know if sheep gives you food. No one watching is telling us either.
Well, I know of Minecraft. I don't know Minecraft, you know.
Okay.
So, our goal is to reach for the sky, right? We're gonna go climb on them clouds, right?
I mean, we could do that. There's nothing stopping us.
Ah.
No, I already had torches.
Oh wow, you dug a nice, pretty deep hole here.
If you're
Oh my
trying...
god, I found a creeper! I found a
Okay.
creeper! He's coming to eat me.
Yeah, I like it. Nice little home. Now I just need to go out and try to build the top.
They'll never take me alive, see?
Hello, stick up. Pick that up. Okay.
I got whatever that stuff is.
You're beneath me.
I am.
Okay.
There's like a really creepy like Indiana Jones style mine down here.
Awesome.
Seems to keep going. I should have crafted me some torches.
I have some, but first things first, I'm trying to build is a place for us not to die when we need to retreat.
There's some creepy noises.
That's okay. That's just my relatives.
Tee. What's this?
There we go.
What am I getting here?
There we go. Oh,
Dirt.
no. I don't have a shovel. Nope, time to dig some more. Mine, 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 mine.
I'm coming out of the hole now. There's nothing special.
Or again, I'm thinking the first thing we're gonna need is a boat. Because I'm almost halfway to my food.
Oh, I found that thing that was making the creepy noises.
Is it
Oh god,
friendly?
I think I'm going to die in here. Nope, it's not a friendly.
Aww.
I think it's trying to chase me now.
Or return home.
I'm trying to. Scary thing is, I don't know where home is.
Oh, that's problematic. Okay.
Yeah, it is. I'm about to just dig through a hole through the side of the mountain and just go. So I hit daylight.
Beautiful. I made actually a quite lovely adobe.
I'm just Mark Henrying my way out of the side of the mountain over here.
Okay.
I think I found daylight. I found daylight.
We can craft this.
Nope, I found water. I found water. Oh boy, I am so deep.
Are you?
Oh, I just flooded that cavern. Oops. Oops.
Oh, first thing I thought I was about to get an achievement for letting my teammate die. There we go. Okay, so now we just need to get wood.
I screwed up. I just flooded that cavern.
Hello.
I'm
Look at our
alive.
friendly house. You like our house?
Okay, built it up. You built it. You built it up.
Yep. It's a nice little house I made for us.
Oh yeah, actually, you actually built like a ceiling.
Yeah. So that nothing falls on our heads. Now, I have no clue
That's
where this
nice.
mine goes.
That's not the mine I went through. The mine I went through was different. It's like on like the backside of like this hill over here. But like I said, we need to find food. That means we have to. Hey, is that a chicken? I found a chicken.
Awesome. There's some food.
Can I kill it to get the food, or do we have to?
Is there
or
more?
can we put a fence around it? It's just one chicken.
We can harvest it, but we would need wheat to make it reproduce, make it happy and happy enough to start reproducing.
I found a cow.
Nice. Is there any more cows?
It's just one cow. I guess what I'll do is I'll make a little plateau where we can.
I've extended your mine a little bit.
That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna turn it into like a basement, like an actual where you can actually put all the crafting tables and stuff like that.
Oh, I just built a house for that. Okay, so the cow's over there. I'm guessing that's where you came out from under the water. That's why there's this sand floating here.
Yeah, that's where I was like,
You barely made
I'm gonna
it.
make a little. I was so far deep, man. But I think the cavern I went through is probably gonna be all water now, probably.
Okay.
If the game does that.
You do. Yes, it does. And that's why you don't build up. Because you will drown yourself. 45 dynamite. Meat from an adult sheep is called mutton. Okay. Oh, wow. We got a lot of comments. Okay. Yeah, lamb chops, etc. You can eat sheep. Can I join Locos Averos? I can't pronounce that. Right now, we're not letting anyone join. We're kind of experimenting with this gameplay mechanic and seeing how it plays out and stuff. We don't even know how we would let anyone join. Okay. I need to get back home. You should get back home. We both should get back home.
There we go. I'm just finishing this up real quick.
Okay.
I fear no. There's a heart. I need that. Apples! I found apples!
You got apples? Awesome.
Yeah, the trees are bearing fruit.
Yay!
And you said cut the trees down. What kind of monster are you? You want us to starve. I guess like you're not getting out of mine.
So,
You're not getting out of my apples. You're gonna starve. I'm
there's
gonna
a
begin
fishing
cannibalism.
rod. That's cool. I'm looking for a boat though.
I'm going to.
There you are.
I'm gonna eat these apples because
ore.
I'm starving.
How do I make an ore? It does look like we need an ore.
Here, how do I tell? Here's an apple. Oh, nice.
Would a shovel count as an ore?
You got my apple. Oh, I got an egg. That must have been from the.
Oh yeah, if you follow the chicken around, you'll get an egg. Somebody's hungry.
Can I eat the egg? I wonder. Just raw, or do I have to cook it? I could throw it.
Okay. So now that I've
I want
made
to throw it.
that, what do I need for a
I'm gonna make a
boat?
stove.
Did I actually just use up everything I needed for a boat? I thought I needed.
What do I need for a boat? Where's it at?
I can make a campfire. That's interesting.
Or a smoker.
I can make a dye. Let's just make a dye, just so we have it. Oh, there we go.
A brewing stand. Mix some brew.
So I think the only thing I need for a boat is an ore.
How do you know you can make a boat?
It's if you go to the crafting table and look into it, you should be able to see an oak boat. Did I not make? I didn't make a show. Meat from an adult. Okay.
Oh well.
I'm just making sure I'm keeping in line with the comments. Okay.
You're good.
So.
There's a lot of stuff you make. A fishing line, string,
Did I make a boat?
buckets.
I can make a boat. Okay, so you need a shovel and 5 wood blocks.
5 planks.
If you want, I can make you a boat real quick.
Yeah, if you got the supplies, why not?
Do I? Did I overestimate? Nope.
Are the boats one-man boats, or are they actually like, if you just take your boat, can I like ride with you, or?
I don't know for sure. I don't know.
We can
I don't
actually-
know for sure. But, how do I drop? Ow.
Oh, sorry. Look at the map. Look at the map.
I think I gave you a boat. There, a boat.
You did. You did. Nice.
So
Very
tomorrow we can go explore out and travel.
Yeah, we need to find food.
Yeah, you said you gave me an apple. Let me keep that apple readied up in case I need it.
Oh, you're about to starve, aren't you?
Can I roast an apple? No.
So that's a stove right here, huh?
It's a
I can see
furnace.
what. You can probably make a stove is what we probably need in theory.
A furnace is a stove, but it's also how
I
you
don't
melt
believe you.
metals and stuff.
A fletching table.
A block of a latch.
I can craft 3 furnaces.
We don't need 3.
I think we need 3.
Upgrade my sword.
A cauldron. Do you actually see the items that we actually need to craft? I can see the shape, but I can't tell what we actually need.
So no, it looks like I can't go over and see what exactly it is. A fetching table. I have no clue what that is.
I think that's where you make arrows and bows and stuff, I think.
Bowl. I can make a chest.
An anvil.
I should make.
Chests are for like storage, right? Like we can store stuff.
Give me a second. I'll show you. I've got the supplies to make it, and I'm gonna make one.
Craft a bow.
There we go. Okay, place. There we go.
I lied. You could just use. You can actually build a bow.
There's a chest above the crafting table now. I'm gonna put shared supplies in.
Oh, nice. Nice. I'll put my stuff in there. I'll put the chicken in, the egg in here.
There we go.
I guess I'll just put all my honestly all my stuff that I've picked up in here.
I'll put some stone. I got some dye.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Hello, outside world.
Got some seeds. We can start planting trees soon.
You're so paranoid of the outside world. There's nothing out here that could eat us.
That's because I've seen death. It's looked me square in the eye.
I think you're just paranoid, bud.
Okay.
Paranoia is a bad thing to have.
And my action.
What about this boat thing? Let's see how this boat thing works here. Let me actually. Actually, it's wearing thin, but it's okay.
How do I?
So I could just go boat.
Take half. There you go. Put some torches in if we need it.
Ah. Oh, there's the boat. Come back, boat.
Actually, I need to do one thing.
There it is. Haha. I can't get in the boat. It's being so naughty.
And I need this. Whoopsie. Oop. There we go.
There you go. Haha, I'm on my boat.
Crap that.
Oh, like that.
I'm
Yeah,
coming.
the boat's only a one-seater.
Okay. So now I got 2 swords, 2 pickaxes. We should be good to go. Except it's nighttime, which means it's dangerous. Where are you?
I'm outside. Oh, here's that mine I was talking about. Not full of water, though. That's interesting.
You're behind me.
Yeah, I'm out here. I can make it a
Hello.
sunroof.
No, we don't need a sunroof.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me close our door so no one invades our. The hole's over here, though. The hole's over here. Follow me down, though. I'll show you the scary stuff I found down here. want to bring your sword. I want to see parts of it full of water is what I want to see.
Ow.
Yeah, enjoy that fall. Ow. Hear the breathing.
Oh, that's why I put torches places so I can see.
Oh, there it is. Run! Hey, Jordan. Ow!
I would like an invite to that.
We're currently streaming, just to tell you.
Yeah,
no.
that's where I made that hole.
Where does this go? Ooh, some ore. I think it's some iron ore.
Oh god, I died.
Oh, snap.
How long have y'all had Minecraft free download?
What
I
is
said I
this?
drowned. You still alive?
Yeah, I'm still alive.
I said I drowned. I don't know how.
Well,
So I was taking in water. No.
well, depending on what angle you are in the water, you can be drowning.
I'm coming back down. Oh, I got all my stuff dropped too.
Yep, I'm collecting it.
Or you could just like leave it there.
There's a creeper down there.
Yeah, I don't have like no sword or anything. I had a fist.
Well, I'm trying to get everything you need. Are you back down here?
I think I went down the wrong path.
You should be able to just follow the lights.
Oh no, I went the other way.
Okay.
Yeah, found it. There's a light. I think it's really filling up with water.
Well, I don't think the water actually collects. There's a creeper down here.
Oh, it does. Oh, gotcha. It just flows. It doesn't actually
Yeah.
fill, right?
Yeah, it just flows. Okay, let's see if I can kill this creeper.
Oh god. You okay?
Did
Yep,
something blow up?
I'm good.
Give me my supplies, please. On my goodies.
Okay, let's get somewhere a little bit more safe.
Safe.
Oh,
There's
it's right
iron
down
ore.
there.
Ah. Ow.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll show you the base. Whenever we get it.
I'm in the base. I don't know what hole y'all went down in.
Yeah.
Ow!
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hit you. It wasn't intentional.
I need to eat an apple now.
I need to stick.
Because there's no way I'm getting health back.
Ah, scary.
Okay, we need to get up and out. Okay. Safest way out. Safest way out.
The way we went. Up the water.
Oh. Up the water where?
Oh,
Nope, this way.
There's a way over here. What's over here?
This way.
What's over here?
I have one heart. I'm not taking that risk. How do we get up? This is the way? Yeah.
I'm alive.
This way.
Alright, I'm back at the boat.
Oh, y'all went underwater then.
There's monster.
Okay, hopefully this leads
Hello,
me to
come
a
now.
safe place.
Hello, God, now.
Hi, Minecraft Mad649.
Cobblestone.
Oh no. Oh no. No, 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 no.
1, 2, 3.
No, no.
Sticks.
I found
Don't die.
your quick exit.
He did.
Okay. Okay. Okay, let me go to my inventory. Okay. So, how do I drop? What button is it to drop?
Down the D-pad.
Down? No, not down on the
Down the
D-pad.
D-pad. So it was for me.
Nope, that's to close. That's to place it.
Oh, I think you have to put it in select and then you hit drop. Oh
Ow!
my god, I killed. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
I had one heart left.
What happened?
I accidentally hit the right trigger.
For what?
I went to
What
go
you
move my
have?
controller and it ended up hitting the right trigger and it ended up killing him. All your stuff's to her. I'm not taking anything.
Oh, okay. He had one health bar left, and you ended up killing him.
Yeah, I accidentally ended up hitting him. It wasn't intentional.
Is this mine? I don't.
Yeah, all that stuff's yours.
Well, no, not all this is mine. Some of this is yours.
Well, the axes and all that were mine. That's all I had on my inventory was all the axes.
You had
The axes
you
and
had
the
a map
pickaxes
as
were mine.
well,
I did have a map, yes.
and I don't know which map is yours now.
Oh my goodness! I'll just make me a new map. It's not a
Take
big
that
deal.
map. Take it. Take it, my
He's
friend.
just
Take
magging
it.
back to you.
There you go.
Is this
Oh,
my
there's a
map?
hole y'all used.
Okay. No, I need to. Here's an axe. Here's an axe.
Thank you.
Okay. Here's a pickaxe.
Thank you.
And then I need to check my inventory.
Worst case scenario, I could just craft me more. I mean, they are, disposable. I mean, it's not like
Yeah, but we don't.
It's not
need
like
a-
a rare.
We don't need 1,000 pickaxes.
I do, because I burned through
Here,
'em.
here, here,
Thank you.
here.
I don't think all those are mine, but okay. I'll keep taking them. Whatever you throw me, buddy.
I didn't have 2 swords, so you can have.
I have a door. Why do I have a door?
You most likely picked it up on me, so.
I know I did. I know. I'll put it in the box. I don't need it. Unless you want the door. Here, take your door back.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
These sticks are also yours too. Here, take the sticks. The individual though. Stick. I think these boxes were yours too. Here's the more boxes. Take all your stuff. Come
I got
back,
a bunch
monster.
of iron here.
Yeah. Oh. Wait. Where you at? Where'd you go? We gotta come to you. I'll come
Just
to you.
picked up 12
Oh.
ores.
Crap. Brain fart. Yeah. There you go. The sword here.
Okay, so apparently
Extra
rotten
axes here.
flesh you can't cook. Good to know.
Rotten flesh.
Mm-hmm. I killed the monster, or
Oh, look
I
at all
killed
this
a monster.
coal.
I thought it was the one that cured you, but apparently not.
Oh, this is all iron. Okay, that's what you're saying now. This is all iron. Nice.
Y'all missed a bunch of coal and iron.
One of us died, and I was trying to fight off something else and then not die because I had 1 heart. And then somebody thought it would be funny just to see what happens if they swing at me.
It wasn't intentional. I literally, the guitar bumped up against my leg. And I was like, oh, yeah. I'm like, oh god, this is not going to end well.
Okay.
Would it really kill you just to be a little more positive? Just a pinch, A little more optimistic.
So now, I'll go explore the islands.
Oh, you're going to explore the islands? I'll come with you. Oh god! I want to go with you.
We
Let's
actually
go
might be able to
herd the cows.
fish.
Did you already get your boat out?
Yeah.
Alright, so what would you like me to do? Continue mining?
Do whatever
It's up to you.
do whatever you feel comfortable
Yep.
doing. I don't want to stress
I'll keep
you.
mining. Yeah, I got 24 things of coal and 12 things of iron so far, just being down there.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we
Nice.
might be able to fish, so it's not like we really need to. Oh my gosh. I don't know which one's blue, which one's green. I think the black and
Where
one's
did you
blue.
go?
You want to come
Oh,
south.
gotcha.
Come south.
I don't have a compass.
You have a map.
I do have a map. How do I look at the map? Oh, I see.
You want to go to the white dot. Like, literally the only thing on a different island, but...
That must, okay, that means you must be gold. I'm looking right at you. So let me put this down here and...
But I think you're gonna like this
my boat's
island.
My boat's not working. Oh goodness, I'm going to die! Okay.
Or at least a part of this island I think you're gonna like.
I think you're over here on this island. The one with all those, like, trees in the immediate proximity, right?
No. This island has nothing on it.
This might be over here, then. It's a cow. It's 2 cows. Found some cows.
What am I...
I guess we can turn this island into Cow Island. Oh my god, get off a cow. I don't want to kill you!
Whoa! I just need a block. A block to stand on, please. Thank you.
You don't block it to stand on, huh?
Oh no. Come on, don't drown. Don't drown.
I need to go southeast.
I'm screwed.
Looking right at you. I'm coming, don't move.
There we go. I found a block to stand on. Oh. Okay.
I'm coming, Billy.
Okay. And then I need to place it. Ow.
You make like a flare gun so I can see you. Are you on that sand island?
There's a lot of sand islands. This was actually a lot cooler before I destroyed everything.
Oh, I found a creeper.
I destroyed everything. I mean, it's still a pretty neat area, but it's not as cool
I think I found
as
you.
it was.
I found you!
I don't
Yeah.
see you. I don't see you.
I
Yeah,
do.
there you go. So this used to be an underwater cavern until I was about to drown and I had to quickly decide.
Flood it to the...
Oh no, it was underwater. And I mean, you still can go to it and kind of see some of the remnants. But it's very hard to kind of swim out of it, so. But if you go over here, there's actually some more of the cavern. I don't know how far deep it goes, but.
You need scuba gear?
Can you have scuba gear? Do you need scuba gear?
Scuba
Start calling him Scuba Steve.
Scuba Steve!
Okay. So, but that doesn't help us food-wise, and that's what we really need.
Well, I said I was on an island with cows.
Well, where's the island?
Let's go!
Take me!
Well, like I said, you'd want to capture the cows, right? You put them in a fence and give them food so they produce and we can, like, harvest them.
I wonder if that's a shark.
Why am I so paranoid?
Or it's chasing you.
You're like watching him chase me too, huh?
Well, I don't have anything to shoot it with, so...
And the harpoons!
There's zombies here. Oh no, we're going past this island.
Not over
okay.
here.
I'm
Yeah, it's over here.
coming.
There's 2 cows on this island.
Okay.
There was 2 cows on this island. Now there's only 1. Oh, there's a creeper right here, that's why. You're not touching my cows!
That's just grass.
I've got 26 iron ores now.
That sounds
Nice.
lovely.
Iron weapons.
The only issue is I don't know. So let me grow some things here. I think it's 2 blocks of depth. There you go.
I'm just leveling the field real quick.
I'm just growing some sugar cane.
You eat sugar cane?
I believe
creeper.
so. That's not a creeper, that's a zombie.
A zombie. Gotcha. I just it's
Creeper
more
goes
instinctually just
boom.
like, boom. I know.
Ooh,
I
hello.
know.
Okay.
I don't think we allowed
Oh,
monster
that's
any
fine.
weapons.
I got
So,
lapis lazuli. I made 2 stone swords.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I need to find back home.
Home is back. I think home is that one island over there to the right.
Yeah, it's the one down. Okay. I'm gonna come back and build a fence for a cow.
Sounds like a
Ow.
plan.
What?
Yeah, that's right. Well, there's some fence already also made, so I gotta just go grab it.
No,
You're gonna build a full fence.
I'm just gonna build a new fence.
I'll take some of the old fence though, so you're not like wasting it.
You know, it makes a nice little window.
Well, I have fence inside of the box. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like pre-crafted fence I'd never used.
There we go. Okay. And where is the house? There's the house. Okay, I think. Hello, chicken.
I have seeds.
Nice.
You want to just plant them?
Nah, I'm trying to build some
I need an iron
indicators.
pickaxe.
I got like 4 of them. I can bring you 2 of them.
Yeah, I found redstone.
Well, in reality, I kind of
Redstone.
want. If you can
Yeah,
stay.
stuff that we can use for electricity.
Gotcha.
If you can stay on the island, that'd be really nice right now. So that I can find.
So you know where to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. I also got to protect the cow because there's creepers, or not creepers, zombies bouncing around.
Okay. And then I need that. And what do I need?
Take your time.
This.
I don't want to adventure.
Well, I'm just.
See, I
trying-
can't put like a beacon here.
Well, if you look to the island I'm on, you should be able to see. Yeah, that should be enough. You should be able to see some torches off in the distance. Do you see any?
I think so. Yeah, because I'm straight north.
Yeah. And when I come back, I'll
Good point.
put some torches on the island
To market.
to indicate it so that we aren't confused. Apple.
Oh, God. Ow, ow, ow.
There we go. 2 nice little torches there. Grab the boat.
Die, zombie, die.
And I need to see the map so I know where you are. I'm heading toward you. You're on the.
I need food.
Just go straight north.
Yep, you're on the flat island. Hello.
I see. Alright, you found me. All ahoy! There's a shark, I think.
You have your own ship.
I know.
Mm,
Well, but I want to take your ship.
Okay.
that.
Let's see if I can
Okay.
build a fence around this cow.
You said you still need those axes, right?
I'm making mine right now. I'm making
Okay.
2 just in case.
Come here, cow. Come
I'm
on.
also gonna build a wall around that entrance.
Okay, don't come. Come here. I want to fence you in.
That's innocent. Can I pick up my boat?
No. No, cow.
It's permanently there, huh?
No, cow. I hate this cow. Stay, cow.
Hello.
This
I
cow
need planks.
sucks. Stay. Stay, cow.
Here, let me drop some of this
Stay.
stuff for you here.
Stay. I'm sorry, cow, that I had
Rotten
to do it
flesh.
that way. But
I do need some meat.
Are you hungry? Need food?
I got attacked by a zombie.
there
Need
is some.
food. How are we gonna find food?
Well, we have a cow.
Yeah, but we need that one to reproduce, though.
Yeah, which I don't think we will, but I locked it into a cage, so. So
Alright.
theoretically, it should not move. It's a very sad cage, so.
Is it a really small cage?
Oh, yes. Super small
Look
cage.
at you building a little...
Can I
Look at you
play?
building
Can
a
I
little
We're building a
please?
walkway to the mine.
So right now we're not allowing guests to come
Nice.
into this yet. I'm sorry, Cal. Maybe one day we'll find a friend for you, even though I don't think we'll be able to get it on this island. But we have you now. You are ours.
We have to get that cow.
Okay. So, oopsie. I need to put something. Nope. How do I do this? I don't have anything. Okay.
Hey, another egg.
I guess. Can I do?
It's like the chicken can escape, so we gotta build like a...
Why can
Thing
the
for
chicken escape?
Because it could climb up items, or it can climb over.
Can it? Or are you just making that up?
I'm watching it literally climb up the wall, so I'm like, okay, so if I build a fence, it'd probably be pointless unless you could put like a top on the fence.
No, I'm pretty sure you can just build a fence. Okay, so the cow's
You think it-
surrounded. Whoopsie.
I guess I'll go and start exploring.
Okay. So I think that is the coming up to the end of our stream. So if we want to wrap this up if you guys want.
Ow.
If you guys want.
Let me go pick a random island real quick to go dock on, so I know where we pick up next time. That's where I'll be.
Okay. Dandelion. Good.
Yeah, I guess we'll dock here.
I was like level 3 before you killed me, just to tell you.
I'm sorry. It wasn't like I said. I literally bumped my controller and it literally swung my axe and immediately killed you.
Mhm. What?
Like I wasn't even like trying to be funny. I like literally accidentally hit my controller and it was like swing and I was like no.
Are you that way? No, I'm
It's a
facing the
really
wrong
small
way.
cage. It's a really small cage. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like that's like a 4x4. Like the cow doesn't even move. It literally just stands
Sure.
and watches.
I think I
You're
see
so
you.
mean.
I think I see you. Do you see me?
I can see the cage. I don't see you though.
I'm not at the cage. I'm back home.
Oh wait. I'm on another island.
I know.
The island next to it.
Do you see me on the? There you are. Oh,
Yeah,
I
I see you. Yeah.
Yay! I think that's the
Yay.
perfect way to end this stream.
Sounds good to me.
Hope everyone has a good
fine.
night. And talk to you guys later. Bye bye.
Until next time, Black One signing off. And with a guest, Pure Monster.